How's it, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're out here on the lovely Salisbury Plain trying to do a follow-up on a video that both Justin and I have done on both of our channels, and that is the good old oil catch cans. So what we're going to look at is the quality of the two different available options that you can get there on the market. We're going to look at the pros and cons of both systems. We're going to look at the cost, because there's a significant cost difference between the two. And then we're just going to end up with, do we recommend it? And no, spoiler alert, get one now. Hey. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
What is this?
Now this is the oil catch can that I've put in my vehicle. So this is like a very basic oil catch can that I've kind of put together. Yeah. My main sort of drive of getting an oil catch can is the information that was available online, and the amount of talk in continents like Australia, South Africa, with regards to oil catch cans, the necessity of them, and obviously the importance of them with regards to the new diesel motors. So there was nothing available on the UK market, which was very, very frustrating on my part. Mm-hmm. So I embarked on a crazy journey of finding something that is, number one, I was stuck by a budget. Mm-hmm. So that was my priority, is trying to keep costs as low as possible, but I wanted something that it worked, did the job. So this was obviously the material, but this is what materialized from obviously that journey. Obviously it's not the most prettiest kit, however we've got the top bracket laser cut for this particular kit in mind. So I found something that was online that was relatively cheap, and then I just worked around that and trying to find obviously the correct pipe work and things like that. So,
and you can get this on your website? Yes,
I can. So basically what I've done is I've sourced all the kit contents and created like a kit that I can sell onto people that is specifically designed for the T6 Ranger. Because I don't know other vehicles, I haven't got a lot of hands-on experience with other vehicles, so I kind of just focus on what I had here and what I know and what currently works for obviously the vehicle right now. So.
But the beauty of this kit though is because it's your pipe work, you can actually take the main parts of this kit and put it into any pickup.
Yeah. So the only difference with this kit is the bracket will change. That's the only difference. Whereas obviously the internal inlets and outlets exactly the same for any vehicle. Is you just got to find your route for your pipe work and stuff and just make it work for you. So that's kind of the pros of this. It's quite universal in that respect. It's just you've got to find a way of mounting the actual catch can somewhere in your vehicle. You do get like a really small bracket with it. It's got like a 90-degree bend, so you can utilize that, but I found that it is very flimsy, and when this starts filling up, there's a lot of movement. So I think over time it'll go. Yeah, it'll break. So that's kind of why I went with stainless steel. I don't like a lot of steel and stuff like that because it just rusts. Yeah, so I went for stainless steel.
Okay, so is there any internals in this catch can?
Yes. So when I did the whole research of oil catch cans, the things that we had to pay particular attention to was like an internal baffle, and some form of filtration system. Because what we're effectively doing is filtering the makeup air that's coming into the intake. It's recycling the exhaust gases. So we need a filter in there, 100% need a filter to filter that oil. That's the main reason why we need this, is to filter the oil and all the crap that's coming out of the air. But you also need a baffle system, so it kind of creates, you've got to baffle the air in a way that it agitates the stuff out of the air and then recycles it out. So there is a thing in there, and it is pretty simple to get to with this one. This one, you just got to screw off the actual cap itself. So if you've got large hands, this might be slightly trickier.
It's alright, I've got girls' hands.
But it's relatively simple to get to.
Okay, so there's a double O-ring in there to seal it up. So that's good.
So you've got so that's one of the things I was looking at, is the sealability of the kit. That's the only thing. It's just a little bit tricky to get out.
Yeah, look at all that.
Yeah, so there's a lot of oil and moisture and stuff in there.
The state of that.
It's crazy. So I mean, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I didn't really see much going in here. So it was mainly like fluid.
Yeah.
So I was thinking to myself, have I done the right thing? Is this kit actually working? But I just left it over time, and after about 3 or 4 weeks, I started seeing the oil specks appear, and it looked like it was doing what it needed to be doing. So, and over time, it's quite apparent that
that's horrendous.
Yeah, it's definitely doing what it needs to be doing. So,
and that's what people don't realize, is because of the blow-by from your pistons and the diesel gunk going into your crank.
Yeah,
all of that needs to come out.
Absolutely.
And that goes straight back, recirculated back into your air intake. And people don't realize that.
Correct.
And you end up with two problems. One, you've got this diesel fume oil mixture going back into your engine.
Yeah.
But the problem with the oil mixture is it covers up all your intake valves and stuff.
Correct.
And then with your EGR doing
a big thing,
some more recirculation,
yeah,
you end up with all of that burnt gases now being pumped back into your intake, and then just covers.
Yeah.
And then with the heat, it just starts building up and building
carbonizes.
up.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think this captures as much stuff as it can, and it minimizes the build up in there. I mean, admittedly, I haven't opened the EGR yet. That's something that I am very keen on doing. Yeah. Because this has been in the truck for about a year now, so I'd like to see the difference between a similar vehicle that's without a catch can and obviously mine that had a very kind of cheap version, and see the physical difference in the EGR. I'm sure there'll be apparent differences there, so that will be quite an interesting to do. So I mean, the internal baffle, you can just see it. It's nothing sophisticated. You just got the steel plate with perforated holes, and then you've got a brass. I don't know if you can see the brass sort of filter there. To be fair, that is not the. It's more like a which you find on like a diff breather filter, that kind of brass with the little balls that have been glued together. It's very, very similar. So it does let air and stuff pass through, but what I found is that clogs up quite quickly as well. So with this kit, you've got to be on top of your maintenance with this kit. So luckily, it's not a lot of bolts. It just unclips, and then you just wash it out with alcohol or whatever, and make sure you just get rid of the oil in a responsible way. But yeah, I mean, you can, as you can see, there is a drain plug on the bottom of here, and you can add a pipe in there to make it easier, and we can pipe it. But I haven't done that. I just want to first see
if it's working.
Yeah, and just see how that's doing. I mean, admittedly, it's done very, very well.
So the cheaper systems then rely mostly on condensation, effectively getting that particulate matter to condensate against the side and against that baffle, and then drip out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it starts. Yeah. As soon as that condensation starts building up in there, I think that's what starts catching all the particles, and then as when it creates that sort of cyclone effect in there.
Just effectively.
Yeah, it helps it out, speeds it up. In terms of price of something like this was relatively cheap.
Yeah.
I've got these kits on my website for like £65. Yeah. And what I've tried to do is to make it as simple as possible. So on the 3.2 model, you have a pipe, which is your recirc pipe, which comes from your air intake, and it goes to the back of the motor.
Yeah.
So the original one I had on there, I actually cut a section in the original pipework and connected them both together, and they actually worked. It wasn't the prettiest. There was a little bit of tension on the hose from there. However, it still worked. So if someone's in a pinch and they're looking for something that it's cheap, but it still does a decent job, then you can do that. You don't have to buy all these extra gubbins and stuff like that. So the only trick is, which I find this is the hardest thing for these type of catch cans, is the fittings. Yeah. So the hoses that come off these pipes, these are 25mm, and to try and find a reducer that goes from 25 all the way down to, I think it's a 1/4 inch or 3/8 that goes in there, that is very, very difficult. So you end up, like you can see here, I've stepped it up twice to try and make it obviously decent. So that's the only thing that I found very, very frustrating about this, is trying to make it as clean as possible. and I've been testing out different styles of hoses. We've got obviously a Superflex hose here. Yeah. This is obviously the silicone outside, but it's not really silicone on the inside. Yeah. So what I've noticed is you've got a little bit of weepage on the hose. You can see obviously how dark the hose has gone. So that needs to change to a more sort of Superflex silicone hose. Yeah. I think that will be a lot better and seal it up. So, but apart from that, I mean, it's done a while. Maintenance-wise, it's very. You just saw me obviously take it out. Very, very easy and simple to do. And drainage, cleaning it. I mean, would I recommend something like this? I definitely would. Definitely would. If someone's in a pinch, on a tight budget, go for something like this just to build the foundation. Yeah. Yeah, and then it gives you time to save up for a better kit that's out in the market. Because there are definite cons about this kit here. Is obviously the components. Yeah. You've got to source the components, which is frustrating. You just want something that you just bolt in the truck and then away you go.
Off you go.
Absolutely.
That segues us nicely into mine.
It does indeed. Let's do it. Let's have a look at your kit, eh?
Sweet. Okay, so
where's your oil catch can?
It's there.
How OEM does that look? That's crazy.
That is one of the reasons I actually went for it. So, same as you, when I started to become aware of the problem with the whole oil in the air intake, I started looking at catch cans. And I actually initially bought a eBay special.
Cool.
And like you said there, the problem I ran into was getting fittings to get all the pipes to work, because I realized that the pipe from the engine is massive. And I then started looking for alternatives, and eventually I came across the Provent filter.
Cool.
Now you'll notice I will call this a filter, not a catch can.
Yeah.
The main reason for that is because it actually has a filter element. Yeah. So unlike yours, which relies on
like a baffle system.
Baffle system condensation, this one actually has a filter, and you can see how much crap is in there, because I didn't realize in the short time that I've had it on,
it's filled right up.
It is filled right up. So
it's a really decent filter on the Provent.
So this works on. So Provent is made by MAN filters.
Okay.
So it's a known filtering company. So they've realized that there is a problem, and a lot of the industrial processes and machinery actually has that in.
This fits really snug in there. This is definitely how it seals in there, and you can see how how it filters in. You've definitely got more of a cyclone-like effect in this than compared to that, whereas you've got like the inlet, it just goes through the filter and then hits the baffle and then goes back out.
Yeah.
So I don't think that is as efficient as what it should be, whereas the Provent, you can definitely see the difference in obviously how it filters everything is obviously worlds apart. I reckon there's far more research and development that's gone into that.
Yeah, this is, and now it's got that nice "Made in Germany" written right there. So clearly
it's quality.
You're looking at a quality.
Yeah.
But you can buy the catch can itself, just by itself, and then you can source your own pipes. And the nice thing about that is the inlet and outlet of this is the same as the parts on your vehicle.
Right, I see. Okay.
So you don't have to go and try and get reducers or anything. You can just get a straight out pipe. But I found this actually as a kit. The kit is made by Western Filters, which is an Australian company.
Okay.
And they provide you with this pre-bent hose to take over from where your original
Looks super
one was.
neat as well.
They provide you with the hose running from the filter itself and back into your air intake. A nicely bent and laser engraved Western Filters so stainless steel bracket and all the fittings to put it on, and also a drain hose. Now you were saying on yours that you can fit yours with a drain. Now this is the only way to clear this filter is by the drain. And the drain goes under the vehicle, and you just zip tie it where it's out of the way, and it's got a little tap on, all sent to you.
Cool.
So ease of installation probably took me half an hour, and I've got a video that I've made previously, which I will put in the link at the top.
So I think that's definitely the trumps above that kit. Like you mentioned, you're messing around with bits. You're measuring pipes and bits and pieces, whereas that is ready-made. You know it's going to fit. You've got all the fittings.
Yeah, and you buy the kit specific to your vehicle.
Yeah.
So if you've got a L200, wherever that sits, you will have the right pipework to get to the filter itself. But for the ease of that convenience, you have to pay for it.
Absolutely.
This kit, with import taxes, I think was just shy of £270.
So there's obviously a big price difference, but I think if you've got a vehicle that you're going to keep for a long period of time and you are quite hot on the maintenance of your vehicle, that is a very small investment. Yeah. If you break the cost over, say, 5 or 6 years you own the vehicle, it's not really a lot. I know it's in the beginning it's a bit of to shell out, but it's a very worthwhile investment. From the stuff that this catches, it speaks for itself.
And it does.
Definitely speaks for itself.
And the thing is, it also has a overpressure system. So down there you can see that round bit there.
I was just about to ask.
So as the filter starts clogging, it creates an overpressure. So instead of pushing that pressure back into your engine, it actually has a little valve there, and it vents. So it ensures that your engine doesn't run into an overpressure situation where, in your case, if somebody decides or forgets about that vehicle, or they buy the vehicle with it already fitted and they don't know what it is, and that fills up, that air that needs to recirculate to reduce the pressure in your crank needs to go somewhere. So this filter looks after you that way as well. So like you say, it's been engineered properly and looked at in depth by the guys. And interestingly, a lot of guys that fit these filters, they also blank off the EGR.
Okay.
Well, not these filters, as in catch cans in general. They blank off the EGR to stop that ingress. So I looked at a few videos before I bought this, and MAN themselves, the producers of this filter, actually says you shouldn't do that. Okay. Obviously, it's got the environmental concerns and stuff, but your vehicle has been tuned to make that thing work. Exactly. With that. So unless you're getting a custom tune to cut out the EGR filter, just adding a blank to the EGR will probably give you more trouble in the long run. Yeah. So, yeah.
Final thoughts?
Well, the thing is, would you recommend it to your mates that have just bought their brand new truck? And I showed you that. Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. From our point of view, it's an absolute no-brainer, regardless of what kit you go for. I think it's a lot of the time is budget related. So if you're on a strict budget, you can go for kit A, and if you want something that's more longevity, you've got a better filter, ease of installation, then obviously the Provent is definitely something to look at. We'll put all the links in the description for where you can get these kits. Bear in mind, obviously that is going to be a lot of hunting around for more components, whereas that is a standalone kit, so there's another pro for that. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or suggestions, please let us know down below. Without further ado, we'll definitely see you in the next one.